Football presented by Truist live in New York City. We're all together so excited for the Throwdown Round. Third on Thursday is on the way. We've got a stress scale. James Robinson, the standout breakout performer of the Jacksonville Jags, is joining us. So you can get to know him ahead of next year, and hopefully they can get it together. Lots of fun here on the show. What's our burleson on today?
We got a burlesson on Lamar Jackson. I'm going to break down why he's dangerous in the playoffs, Kay Adams.
We'll talk Bucks, Nate Burleson, Peter Schrager, Kyle Brandt. Here we go. Let's do it. It's time for Lead Block.
Lead Block.
Okay, Super Bowl 55. You got to get through this weekend, of course. To do it, the momentum is building, the pressure on the rise, and the final 8 teams look to punch their ticket to championship Sunday. The divisional playoffs presented by Intuit TurboTax Live. The action kicks off Saturday at 4:35 p.m. Eastern. We'll be here previewing everything you need all day long on NFL Network. We'll have highlights for you right here on Good Morning Football the Monday following this fun weekend. But let's start with that game that's taking place at Arrowhead. The Chiefs resting, the Browns looking hot, playing with house money and headed to Kansas City. Okay, we also have Patrick Mahomes asked yesterday if he got some extra work done on their week off.
Right when the bye week started and we knew who the seeds were for the 7, 6, 5, 4, all those seeds that we could possibly play, I took a day where I watched each team, about 4 or 5 games of each team. And so just trying to get a general feel of what the defense is presenting, what offenses are doing to try to attack them from different teams and different offenses. And so I had a day's worth of film on the Browns. So whenever we found that out, I was able to look back at that, look at my notes, and try to see how it presents to us.
Chiefs earning that extra study time after winning 14 games, clinching the bye back in Week 16. The numbers Patrick Mahomes has put up during their title defense aren't too shabby either. Nate, I don't think any of us think the Chiefs aren't the favorite to represent the AFC in this one. Do you think they're maybe not getting enough respect, though, heading into the rest of the playoffs?
No, they're the defending champs. They are getting the respect that they deserve. But I once heard that respect is for those who deserve it, and it's taken by those who earn it. So who's going to take it? That's the ultimate question. It's not about if they get the respect. We know they get the respect, and they earned it. But who's going to go take it? And how do you take it? It's the Browns running game. That's how you take it. You go out there, physical style of football. You punch this team in the mouth, and they have 2 of the best running backs in the business. 2 guys that can take it downhill in between the tackles, can catch out the backfield. But the physical style of play, that's what's deflating. So listen, Baker Mayfield, he can go blow for blow. He can throw the ball downfield. Jarvis Landry can have an amazing day where the pass game can parallel each other. But if they go out there and they have an amazing day on the ground, a physical 3 yards in a cloud of dust and a couple of big runs, physical style runs like this, angry style runs like this, you're taking respect from the champions. And that's the only way to do it, in my opinion. There's a couple ways you can beat them. You can eke out a win. You can have a fourth quarter comeback. But if the Browns go out there and do almost what they did against the Pittsburgh Steelers, where just physically, for 4 quarters, they dominate the Kansas City Chiefs, now you're taking respect from the champs.
It's still just Thursday. I'm already tired of the disrespect sensitivity for this team. What is disrespect to the Chiefs? Is it having the gall to suggest that maybe the Cleveland Browns could win this game? Is it even like, oh, it might be close? Is that disrespect? Because, listen, this team lost to the Raiders. They lost at home. They had to fight really hard to beat a terrible Falcons team. They're great. They are the favorite. They're amazing. I love Mahomes. I love that he's doing homework on his bye week. Yeah. It's so Mahomes. But, of course, they can be beat. And they're really cocky, too. Don't think they're not. Have you guys seen the Sammy Watkins tweets? It's a little thing. Just a little thing. It's being talked about. Sammy Watkins is watching the Browns-Steelers game, and he tweets this. He tweets, "This is a video game. What the hell's going on? This is weird. I'm speechless. Pretty sure the whole world is shook because I've never seen anything like this in my life, not in the NFL." A fan replies and says, "Well, it looks like we'll have some competition next week." And Watkins replies, "I wouldn't go that far, LOL." Now, I don't make much of that. It's kind of silly. It's just being loose on Twitter. But it was a big enough deal that they took that and they ran it to Baker and they ran it to the Browns. And what do you think of this? And, I think that they're very arrogant, as I would be if I'd lost 1 game in the last 16 months. Yeah. I've just seen some teams. You know what that tweet reminded me of? Reminded me of when the Patriots were 18-0, and Plexico Burress comes out that week and says, "I think we're going to beat them 23-17. They take that score to Brady, and they go, Plex thinks we're only going to score 17 points. It was like, wow, Tom, you're really cocky. So my bottom line is I think the Chiefs are very cocky, very arrogant, and they should be. They can be beat, and I don't think it's disrespect to say that. I really don't. So, no, I'm over it.
I do fear, though, that we get into a malaise as the media, or we get into a haze where it's like, all right, enough about the Chiefs. Let's jump on to the Packers. The Packers are the team. And Rodgers, let's jump on the Bills. The Bills, it's so fun. Bills Mafia. Like, we get kind of fatigued.
The Ravens are hot.
The Ravens. Lamar, we're going to do it.
He's back.
We didn't talk about the Chiefs all week this week. We haven't done a Chiefs thing. We haven't even talked about them really the last couple of months. We really don't talk about them too much. It's almost because we take it potentially for granted. Are they getting enough respect? I don't know. I do know this. I think Mitchell Schwartz said it pretty good in Week 17. I don't know if you guys saw. This is the offensive lineman for the Kansas City Chiefs. Tweets this out. I like how the MVP debate is like, well, if Rodgers wins today, he'll probably win it. Shouldn't our guy get credit for winning so much that he doesn't have to play today?
There you go.
And then you look at the numbers of what Mahomes put up against Rodgers. Why is this a unanimous decision? Why is this Aaron Rodgers' MVP here? Mahomes, more wins, more passing yards, more rushing yards, a near passer rating, and gosh, I don't know, the Chiefs had a target on their back the entire season. I'll say this, I know they came out of the gates down 24-0 last year against the Houston Texans. I can't see that happening again. Look, they won the Super Bowl. It's easy to want to do the Michael Jordan thing and say, look, the Jazz are great, and the Phoenix Suns and the New York Knicks. Maybe this is Michael Jordan, maybe they're the Bulls, and maybe it's just a case of everyone tired of talking about the same topic every single week.
Yeah.
And we globbed on to other people. Rodgers is deserving of the MVP. He's going to win the MVP. Mahomes had a pretty good year.
If it was the Steelers, if it was somebody else, I think that we'd talk about the Chiefs a little more. I think it's okay to be excited about the Browns. We're excited about this fan base, about this team getting there, going, being the underdog, trying to flip a table on the favorite. Kansas City is the favorite. Part of being the favorite is the four of us and everyone else out there with a voice, fans included, picking you apart. Yep. We did it to the Patriots for 20 years. That's what we did. We picked up our... And let's not pretend that this team, even at 14-1 with Mahomes, doesn't have things we can pick apart, my friend.
Absolutely.
They let teams hang around. There's some dropped picks I'm sure we'll get into today. There's a lot to look at here.
Yeah, the Chiefs fans roll their eyes really hard when it's the topic of, well, they don't blow people out and they don't win by a lot. And they're like, we're 15-1. I think it's a good point. I do think there's something fun about the Browns. They just did something they haven't done in 25 years. And I do think if it was the Steelers, it'd be a little, it's oatmeal. We've had it before. There's something going on here. All I know is that you say anything, even suggesting the Chiefs might lose, you get struck by lightning from the state of Missouri and Kansas.
Yeah. Do you feel like this Bills-Ravens game is just two teams punching a ticket to go to their doom? I don't know if I feel that way.
I don't think the Browns are punching their ticket to their doom. Never mind the other guys. I mean, we'll get into that tomorrow.
Do you guys feel that way? Like they're the fate? Yeah.
I think it's gonna be absolutely. Browns are tough. Browns are tough. We'll talk about it.
Well, look at what they did this past weekend. Like, come on, seriously, everything they've been through, the COVID list and Kevin Stefanski.
They didn't have their head coach on the team.
They had their coach on the sideline.
Are we forgetting how good the Chiefs are?
The Pittsburgh Steelers. They didn't just beat they rocked the Pittsburgh Steelers. So if I'm the Browns, listen, I did a call yesterday, Browns Radio, Dustin Fox, my former teammate. He's a Cleveland guy.
Buckeye.
Yeah, Buckeye. And we were talking about the team, and I said, you know what's different about this Cleveland Browns team is that a handful of years ago, maybe even a few years ago, they would have been happy with just being above 500 and been so excited. And we would have too. We would have damn near celebrated like they won a Super Bowl. Congratulations, Cleveland. I know people within that locker room. Everybody from the equipment manager to Jarvis Landry, all the way up to the top, all the way down to the bottom. There's not one person, I don't care if it's the custodian cleaning up the locker room, not one person in that facility that is happy with where they are right now.
Love that.
Even win a Super Bowl.
You know what's disrespect? When we start a Chiefs segment and we end it with this rousing Browns.
Did we forget how good the Chiefs are, Schrags?
Yeah, Chiefs are really, really
By the way, Peter, Rodgers is the MVP. Like,
Yeah,
really good
Rodgers
take by
MVP,
Schwartz.
Peter. I love the graphic.
good take though, right?
Really good.
The Chiefs,
all right.
I like the take.
the Chiefs might get some help back, and we're going to talk about a couple things with Tom Pelissero here. Tom, Chiefs running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He had been sidelined since week 15 with an ankle, I think a hip injury as well. What's the latest on his possible return to action in time for the divisional round?
Okay, Clyde Edwards-Helaire was back on the practice field yesterday, as you mentioned, for the first time since he suffered a high ankle sprain and a hip strain back in 15. That at least opens the possibility that Edwards-Helaire could be back for Sunday's playoff game against the Browns. Now, Coach Andy Reid said that Edwards-Helaire is still day-to-day, made sure to point out that they would not do anything to jeopardize his career, but a positive sign here that the Chiefs may be getting a boost in a backfield that was carried by Le'Veon Bell, among others, down the stretch, okay?
Tom, a lot of excitement here on the East Coast. The Jets do not have a head coach. The Eagles do not have a head coach. What can you tell us about these vacancies? Where's this going?
Well, Kyle, the Jets met with two of their top candidates yesterday. First was 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh, who had flown to the East Coast on Tuesday night, met with the Jets yesterday, and then he headed on to meet with the Eagles next. Then last night, Jets brass had dinner with Titans offensive coordinator Arthur Smith, who has emerged as one of the hottest candidates in this entire cycle. Just this week, Smith had a second interview yesterday with the Falcons, then flew to New York to dine with the Jets. He'll meet with them some more today, then head on to meet with the Eagles before flying to Detroit on Friday morning and meet with the Lions. Now, my understanding is going into this, Smith intends to go through with all those interviews prior to making a decision. So a big 48 hours here, and maybe that will be the first domino to fall. The Eagles, though, continue to interview a variety of candidates, including Panthers offensive coordinator Joe Brady. They will also speak with a really intriguing one, Patriots assistant Gerard Mayo, later this week, guys.
I'd love to see Gerard Mayo get a head coaching gig. Wow, Brady, just 30, 31 years old, getting some love in the head coaching candidacy conversation here. Appreciate you, Tom. Let's talk about, Peter, these last 48 hours for Arthur Smith, for Robert Saleh. What's going on?
Okay, so Tom just broke it down wonderfully, but let me go through the actual travel here, because it's like a reality show how this is going on. So
Amazing
Robert
race.
Saleh flies in from San Francisco to New Jersey. He's going to do an in-person meeting with the Jets. It starts yesterday. They go all morning, like 7 hours, this meeting with the Jets ownership. All right. As he's leaving, he gets a call. There's a private plane waiting for you. The Eagles want to interview you in Palm Beach while you're already on the East Coast.
Interesting.
Hops on the plane. Jets fans wondering, do not let him get on that plane. This is what happened with Kingsbury. He got on a plane to Arizona, and Jets fans are freaking out. Saleh last night lands in Palm Beach, has an interview with the Eagles last night. They start meeting Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie. Saleh